giving boss beach. It's giving boss beach. It's giving bad bitch. Never ever play me like.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nadale, and I make videos on makeup, motherhood, and lifestyle. So if that's something you're into, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, you guys, I know you see the look. I know you see the look. This is my everyday makeup tutorial, like a look you could wear at work or at school or wherever. Like, it's just a neutral glam everyday type look with not too much going on the eyes or on the lips. You could even tone down the lips if you feel like it's too much color for you. But yes, this is like my soft glam makeup everyday type style. So if that's something you want to see, then stick around. I started off by moisturizing my lips, and I'm just using normal chapstick just so that my lips don't dry out while I'm doing my makeup and I don't look like crusty. Okay, so the first thing I do is groom my brows, and for that I will be using my, what do you call this, my shaving stick right here, and this is just an average one that I got from probably Walmart that came in a pack of 3. So I'm just gonna clean up my brows like so. Let me know if you guys like this setup for my makeup videos, because clearly I changed it up. I wanted something more of like a clean background, just with a little pizzazz. So I added some orchids. I really like flowers, especially orchids, so I did that in the back. And truth be told, I did try to film this video a couple of times, but I just wasn't feeling it like it at the time, so I never got around to it. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, so clearly I didn't properly do it because, like I said, I shaved it yesterday and the day before, so I didn't have a lot of shaving to do. But once you have shaved your eyebrows, you're gonna take your eyeliner, and this is just from the Dollar Tree. It is the Color Mates eyeliner pencil in black brown. I love this. I buy it all the time. I actually need a new one, but I think the last 2 times I went to Dollar Tree I didn't find it, so definitely try to get it and stock up on it, just in case they may be discontinuing it. And I do have my mirror right here, if in case you are wondering. I line the bottom of my brows, and then I line the top for my right eye. I think I do it kind of differently on each brow. For my right brow, I just line the bottom first and then the top. And I kind of take it towards the ending portion of my eye right here. Now you want to gently line, you don't want to press down on it, because if you press too hard, you're going to have really dark brows, and that's just not going to look real. I mean, we all know it's not real once you do anything to manipulate the color and shape of your brows. It's not the natural way that your brows grow, but you still want to make it as realistic as possible. So as you can see, for my left eyebrow, I begin the process from lining the top of the brow. So I line the top first, then I line the bottom. Okay, so I did leave a little bit of space in the front, if you could see that, and then I'll just be going upwards like this in the front. I can do a detailed eyebrow tutorial for you guys in another video, but in this one I kind of wanted it to be like all inclusive. Okay, so now that we have filled in our brows, what I'm going to do next is use my flat Eco Styler brush. So this is just an angled brush. It actually is dual-ended, so I use this part to help blend it, and then I use this pad to create the shape. Okay, so with my MAC Studio Fix, I am just going to take whatever, okay, it usually has some in the top, but it doesn't, so I'm just going to put it back, shake it up, turn it over a little bit, because I just want whatever falls at the top of the cap. Okay, so now that I have some at the top of the cap, that is what I'm going to use. I just get a little in there. I don't know if you could see that. I am just going to lightly and gently, hold on, I need to hold my mirror for this. So you're simply just following the shape of your brows. I am not too heavy-handed with the product at this point because I don't want to get too carried away. And you want to drag the concealer a little bit further down from where your brows stop. And that's going to help you later when it's time for you to blend around it. Now I'm going to do the same for the top of my brows. The curve go all the way down. I like to use the MAC Studio Fix because it's more like liquidy, more of a fluid than if I had to use a thicker, like pasty type of product. I know that people use concealer, which is of a thicker consistency. I use concealer, but I only use it to like highlight. I use it to highlight the brow bone area, but I don't use it to cover up my brows, just because to cover up my brows I kind of want like, I want it to be more of my complexion, and I know that the MAC, this is the complexion shade that I used to use. I no longer use it all over my face, but I use it to cover up my brows, and I just feel like it has been working for me. But since it is a lighter consistency, you do want to take your brush and kind of dry that wet portion carefully, because you do not want to smudge the line. You still want there to be like a precise line. Okay, so now that I have done that, I can see some areas that I need to go back in with my brush and kind of like fill it in. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And I do want to fix the shape a little bit. I think I'm okay with this, I'm not sure yet. So now I'm going to do the other side of my brows, and instead of lining the top first, but which one did I line first? I usually line the top first for this one, and for my left I usually line the bottom first. I do not know why, but I realize my technique is always a bit different with my left eye. Whether I'm doing eyeshadow or I'm putting on my lashes. So once I line it, I kind of just drag that color. Drag the Studio Fix foundation down a bit. Yes, it will look streaky, but that's why you flip around and you use the fluffy brush to pat that dry so that there will be no streaky lines. You're kind of blending everything together. I definitely made a mess right there. Like, it definitely created a faux pas. So let me try to straighten this line that's very crooked. Okay, now we're going to blend it out, press it out, blend it out, press it out. I was wondering if I should discuss a topic while I do this tutorial today, but I don't know. I did realize when I looked at my analytics that my videos that I watched for the longest are the Get Ready With Me's, where I talk and discuss my opinion on things, but I do realize that they don't have a good click-through rate. Like, people don't click on them, but those that do click on them stay on them longer. So I don't know. At this point, I have no idea if I should continue doing them or not. So I'm just going back and filling up any sparse areas. Okay, so now that I have done that, what I do next is take that same angle brush and I kind of just remove any excess product that might be on it, and then I use it to, some people use a spoolie, but I realized when I use a spoolie it was separating the product and it looked like it had like gaps in my brows, so I stopped doing that and instead I use my angle brush, disperse the product, and I lightly brush some of it in the front so I can have like an ombre effect. So you always want the front of your brows to be lighter than the rest of the brow. Like, the deeper down the brow you go is the harsher or the darker it should be. Please do not start off with your lashes being super dark and boxy in the front. That is just not cute, okay? And then you're just going to take whatever is left on the brush and flick it up in the beginning. Okay, so after I'm done doing that, again I clean up my brush and I think I want to define the front part of my eyebrows a little more. So I'm just going to add some product right here. You see how it's more like vibrant now? Am I speaking loud enough? Hopefully you guys can hear me. My husband's office is right next to my filming room, so I don't want to talk too loud, but I still need you guys to hear me. So I'm going to do the same thing in the front of this brow. See how I'm holding the brush too? Like, I'm holding the brush this way because I want to be able to clearly see what I am doing. So I'm kind of pointing the brush downwards. So this was kind of like a mini brow tutorial. So yay me. Alright, so now that I have it lined and filled in, I just have to do the front portion because I kind of want it to look a little more gradient. So I kind of just take the brush, darken it and bring it to the front like this. Like, I kind of like go right here to get some product. And then I bring it to the front. I have never seen anybody do this, but it's what works for me. So I go on this side and do something similar, the same thing. And I just bring the product to the front. Then I just, with nothing on my brush, I clean up my brush and then I just go right back like this, and I take some concealer and go inwards now. Okay, not concealer but liquid foundation. Okay, so brows looking good. The last part of my brows is highlighting, so I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape. So this is a Tarte Shape Tape concealer. For this shade I am wearing medium tan sand, and I just take some of the product on my brush and I go from the arch right here on my brow bone, and see how I'm just pressing the product a little bit away, just because you want to put down the excess first, right? And then I am coming up closer and I am just going using that same line we created earlier as a guide. Okay, so that's how it looks. And then now I am just going to pat the product in and diffuse it. Pat, 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 and so I'm blending that color out and kind of blending it with the one that's underneath. Okay, so now as you can see, this is one side versus the other side. One is highlighted, the other one isn't. Okay, so we have both brows highlighted now. So for the eyes, we're going to keep it really simple, and I'm going back to my MAC. Again, using what's in the cap, I am just going to take my angle brush, and I'm using this wipe to clean it off, you guys. So I'm cleaning it off, and then I'm going to take some product and disperse it all over my eyelid, making sure to get the corners between my nose and my eye. And then once I have done that, I use the other side of the brush. I just love this brush, honestly. I have repurchased it many times, but it does last a long time. So I take that color, I go inwards, and then I go up towards what we had just created with the highlighted brow. And I kind of like merge the two together. So as you can see, this is the side that's done and this is the side we haven't done yet. It's like balancing a chemical equation. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. So I used to like doing that in chemistry. We'll be doing a really neutral eyelid. I'm using only one palette. This is the Juvia's Place Nubian palette, and I am going to take this color. It's like an orange color, and I'm going to use that as my transition shade. So this is where you'll change into a fluffy brush. Okay, I usually use a fluffier brush than this, but this is the one I have right now, so that's what I'm going to be using. And I'm going into that kind of like orange shade. Now this may vary depending on your skin tone, but if you have a skin tone like mine, this should be a good transition color for you. So I am going from the outward portion of my eyes to the inward portion of my eyes using this twirling motion. Now when you put your eyeshadow on, you don't have to press on the brush. You just gently swirl, okay? You shouldn't be like going at it. Like, you build up the color by just adding more multiple times, but you get a better color payoff when you do not press down on your brush. So you always want to make sure to get the inner portion of your eye as well. There shouldn't be a part that's covered with eyeshadow and a pad that doesn't. So this is your crease. Your crease is between your eyelid and your brow bone. You can actually feel right here like where the ball of the eye is. So in case you didn't know, now you know. All right, so I'm also flicking out a little bit for this one. So now that I have done that, we are going to take the brown right here, this brown right next to it, and I'm going to go slightly under that color that we just added. So that's going to create more definition. Okay, so now that my eyes are done for the eyeshadow, I might put some inner corner highlight, and I am just going to use the gold they have in here just because I just want one palette. Like, I want to show you guys a complete look with this one palette. So I'm taking my angled brush and I am dipping it into that gold color, and I'm kind of just stamping it right here. Just using this blending brush to like press it in while blending it out. Alright, so now I have done that, we're going to create a wing liner and then add our lashes and move on to the face. I usually set the under eye here with some translucent powder that has like no color, but I cannot find it, so I'll be lightly taking the honey one and just pressing it right here. So it's a Laura Mercier translucent honey, and it should be good because that's the same color I used to highlight my face. So I just wanted to set that so you know it doesn't run or shift or anything like that. Okay, so again, back to lining my eyes. So to line my eyes, I am using the Sephora liner. Oh my god, I love this liner. It's just so good. And I'm going from like the middle portion of my eye, and I'm following the natural shape of my eye, and then I'm going inward. Hold on, I need to put this a little bit closer. All right, so we lined the eye. Now I'm about to line the other one, and then we'll create the wing. We also have to go back to the eyes a little bit later after we really get most of our face done. Okay. A good tip for lining your eyes, I know our eyes get dry really fast, which makes us want to blink. So whenever you want to blink, just move the brush away from your face, blink, and go back to it. Just don't continue doing your makeup while you try to blink because it's gonna mess up. And I kind of just cross my hands over like this when I'm doing my left eye because I am right-handed. And if it means you have to hold your breath while you do this, then do it. Because you know, it's always easier to do things on your right than on your left when you are right-handed. So I have both of them lined from the inner corner all the way to the end, and now what I am going to do is create a wing. I just feel like the wing creates a good shape for me, for my type of eyes. So I go towards the end of my eye, I do not pull on the skin, and then I'm going to go straight up. And then when you go straight up, you are doing this lightly, okay? Not heavy-handedly, if that's a word, but you're doing it lightly, and as you go up you just pull away. Okay, don't keep the same pressure. Lift, and so that you can get like that fine line at the end, you just lift up. Okay, so I'm going to the very tip. And I am pulling downwards. Okay. And now I am just going to fill it in with little strokes. And then I just flick it out a little bit, and then I'm going back the opposite direction. Okay, so that's what my wing is looking like. And I'm going to do the same for the other side. All right. Okay, so from putting all that eyeshadow, some of it may have deposited onto our eyelashes. So I am taking the Maybelline Falsies waterproof eyeliner, and waterproof eyeliner is good a lot especially if you get teary-eyed while doing your eyes. So I kind of just put my head to the side where I can clearly see my lashes, and I am going from the base and wiggling it up. So, and then I go towards the front like this to do the rest of it. So you go from the base, wiggle up, go from the base, wiggle up, go from the base, wiggle up. Bend and snap. You remember that movie? Bend and snap. Yeah, you bend and snap. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect because your lashes are going to go right on top of it, but you do want to give it a nice good coat so that it blends. And the reason we add mascara is to, one, lift the lashes so that they can kind of match with the false lashes. We also use it to darken the color of our lashes, because whenever we add on the false lashes, you know, they are super dark. So again, it's going to help with blending, and it's going to help when you squeeze them together too. So for lashes, we are using mink lashes from the Luxe Mink Lash Collection, and this is INV Luxury Mink 3D lashes in number 13. I bought this Lab Extensions extension wand just because it might just make it easier to put my lashes on, but I usually just use my nails, honestly. Okay, so this is what it looks like, Lab Extension, and it has that curve so it can help, you know, put the lashes right where they belong. I am using the duo brush on adhesive with vitamins. They didn't say what vitamins, but there's vitamins in here. And I am just going to follow the line that I created with the wing liner, and I am just taking the glue and going as close to my natural lash line as possible, really emphasizing on like the end and the beginning of my lashes. Okay, so when you put it on, it does look a little bit blue, and then it's going to dry down and be clear. So to pick up my lashes, I am just taking the tweezers and I am pinching. Oops, don't pinch too hard. So be mindful, because these obviously lashes are glued onto the packaging like this. So I'm just using the tweezers to pull it up. And that one was really stuck there, honestly. And I'm taking off the excess glue. Okay, so I'm going to put some glue in the corner of the lash and at the end, and that's just going to help, you know, it last longer. And whenever that dries down, that's when I'm going to add it on. All right. Now I have my lash. The glue definitely dried down on the liner. Instead of holding it straight like this, I'm kind of going to hold it up like this, and I am going to kind of look down and focusing on the middle portion first. I feel like I put them too much in the middle. So. That's why, my god, I did not cut my lashes. Psycho. How could I not cut? Always cut your lashes. Okay, so let's go again. Right here in the middle. Then we're gonna push the outer portion down using our nails, and then push the inner portion in. One lash is done, and now I'm just pressing it together like this. Alright, now these lashes are longer than I thought, but we just have to roll with it because that's the only one I have. Okay, on my left eye I usually stick it in the middle, then the front, then the back, and for my right eye I stick it in the middle, then the back, then the front. So you just want to go back and straighten your liner, because it definitely can move in the sticking process. So I'm cleaning off my hands now because I'm about to do my face. Okay, so for my face we are going to moisturize with the Pond's. I use this all the time. I've mentioned it several times, and I'm just going to put that all over my face. Again, make sure you have clean hands when you do this. I use a baby wipe because I don't know where I put my hand sanitizer. I usually use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, but I'm not going anywhere, so I'm not going to waste it. I only have like a little of it left. So this is where you add your primer. So we moisturize the face, and now we have to color correct. So to color correct, I am using this LA Girl Orange Concealer to color correct my eye. You don't have to put a lot of this, but you just want to cover all of your dark spots. So I am doing by my skin tags, my mouth, especially the side of my mouth. I'm pretty much doing the same on the other side. Nose right there, because there's just a dark line on my nose. I have no idea why. So we're going to blend it all out with a damp sponge. Make sure it is, like, I wet my sponge once it grows, so it will get larger. Once it gets larger, then I kind of just squeeze it to remove all of the excess. Now that I have done that, and it's giving orange, I am going to shake this, and this is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Radiant Foundation, and I'm just going to pump some of it anyway. So I'm just going to apply the foundation, starting from the parts that I want the most coverage, which is by my skin tags. So that looks a little bit better. I'm gonna clean my hands off, because that definitely can get messy. I'm just going to conceal my face to highlight the areas that I need to highlight, and for that I'm using again the Shape Tape Concealer by Tarte, and I am starting with some in the middle of my forehead, underneath my eye, and I bring it up like this and onto my nose like that. I know there's a new trend where you put some hair and you leave a whole gap, and then no, I need the most coverage under this part. I don't do that. It wasn't broke, so I didn't fix it. I don't know why they have all of these trends. Like, I understand the lifting part, but I feel like I always did that. But I have no problem with my little triangle, whatever I'm doing underneath my eyes, so I don't do all of the trends though. I'll follow a trend if it makes sense to me, but if it doesn't, I'm not doing it. So this concealer is pretty full coverage, so like I don't need to put a lot, but I just want to kind of dry it down. I do have a fan that I use. It's very filthy, but the battery is dead. It needs to be charged. Oh no. So you could use a fan like this, or you could just use your hand the old-fashioned way and let it dry down a bit, especially underneath the eyes. For the forehead, I kind of like blending it out right away, so I kind of like go around the perimeter, and then from the middle I'm just patting lightly, spreading out that product because I want it to be a thin layer. So I'm doing my forehead first and then my chin. I really like how the Juvia's Place foundation blends with the other products, but I do not like the pump on it. So that's one. If you were considering it, just know the pump might give out on you, and it might become, it used to work fine, I don't know what happened. I guess as now it's like less product. Okay, so I'm using the pointy portion and kind of just pressing the product underneath my eye. The reason I do under my eyes last is because I want a lot of coverage, and you kind of want the product to dry down to give you that coverage. Make sure there are no wet patches when you are done blending out your under eye concealer. Okay, so I'm just pressing the product into the skin. They can all mesh. I kind of took it up a little bit. So the product is dried down. I have done all of the parts under my eye, on my forehead, on my chin. Now what I'm going to do is clean off my hands again. Now we are going to use the powder to set in that liquid. So whenever you use a liquid, you always have to use a powder to set it in. I don't care what anybody else says, you have to set it so it wouldn't move, it wouldn't crack, you wouldn't see like spaces in your makeup and stuff like that. So you always have to set it. To set, I will be using two things: the Laura Mercier translucent honey powder and my Room, I think this is called, triangle puff. I love this thing so much, you guys. Absolutely think this is one of my favorite products. I'm just going to take some on this like this. We're just going to press it in. Like that. And we want to go on the side of the nose a little bit and then bring it down. Then I'm going to do my, What I love about this puff, you can use the different sides of it to highlight how you want to highlight. So for example, the pointy pad is like really good for hitting those corners. This portion. Alright, so now that we have highlighted everywhere, I didn't do too much on the forehead because I don't like it to look too crazy, but now that we have highlighted and set, we are now going to contour. I'm going to contour my face and then we're going to blend everything together after we put the blush. To contour, I am using two tools. This is the e.l.f. brush that I am using. It's a contour brush. I really love it. It is perfect for hitting the corners of your nose and just getting a nice line when you contour. And then I am using my Holy Grail True Complexion contour palette by Black Radiance. So I'm using the Sculpt color and I'm going higher than my cheekbone, so not right here but higher, like here. Once I have pressed that in, I'm pressing like this and then I'm switching the brush over. So first I start with the brush horizontally and then I flip it vertically like this. Okay. Then I'm taking whatever is left on that brush and I'm going down the sides of my nose up to my brows. And that's just giving it a more chisel look. Okay, and then now I am going alongside my jawbone just to kind of create a shadow right there to hide my double chin. Your girl has definitely been putting on some weight, which we will be taking care of really soon. And then I add some more. I kind of like take it and bring it towards the arch of my brow. So I kind of just flick the brush like this and bring it downwards like that. And I'm not going to lie, your makeup will start looking crazy at one point, but trust the process. So I'm just going along my hairline, creating like a kind of dome or like curve effect, and I'm making it go down towards this arch of my brow. So as you can see the shape that it created right there, and then I'm going down the sides. Okay. Definitely have to blend all of this in, but I will blend all of it at one time. So now we are going to do the blush. For blush today, I will be using the Juvia's Place Blushed Volume 2, and I will be using this flat brush. I don't remember who makes this flat brush. I just thought it was cute when I saw it, and I'm dipping in both of these colors right here, the pink and the orange, and I'm starting from the apple of my cheeks and I'm going upwards with it. Starting from the apple of my cheeks and I am going upwards. And even if it looks like a lot of blush now, it's going to be toned down later because I am going to blend everything out, okay? So I'm cleaning off my brush. And now I'm taking a big fluffy brush. Okay, and I'm taking my MAC Studio Fix. So this is a mineralized skin finish natural powder foundation in the color dark. And I'm giving that a good swirl, okay? Oh, one more thing. We forgot to highlight underneath the cheekbones. So I am taking my sponge and I'm going under here with it and I'm dragging it down. So this is just going to create a more defined cheekbone. Okay. So I'm going to drag it, just kind of like pat it right there. Alright, so we're looking crazy right now, but we are about to blend it in. So using the MAC, we are going to blend all those colors together so we can get a nice flawless blended. Look at how it's just like the colors are just blending together. I should have done like one side. Okay, let me see if I can show you. I already kind of did the other side, but I'm just going to blend this side on. Leave the other side hash so you could see. Okay, so you see how it's like so harsh and like it doesn't look good, and then on this side it's blended and everything looks nice. So I think that's looking good. I think I'm liking it so far, but I do want to bring back some of that blush because I just love blush. I am just going to kind of focus more on the cheekbones this time. Then I'll blend it a little bit, just kind of under it and around it, but not on top of it, if that makes sense. Okay, so we are blushed and beautiful. So now we just have to finish the under eyes. So for that, I am going back in with the same colors that I used for my lid. Okay, so I am using my Morphe M165 brush, and I am going to use that same brown color from the Juvia's Place palette, and I am just kind of going to stamp it because you definitely want to blow off the excess so it doesn't go in your eye, and you want to stamp it along your lash line. So honestly, I'm going to go a little bit darker, so I'm taking the darker brown in that same palette and I'm putting it above it. Nice and neutral, not doing too much. Okay, that's how we're looking. And I like to use black eyeliner on my waterline just to tight line my eyes. So I'm about to do that. Okay, ladies, so this is how it's looking so far. Okay, so what we have to do next is line the lips, add, you know, your liquid liner and then your lip gloss, and we're gonna be all done. I'm so happy to be finally done with this video. I tried doing it like 3 times. So for the lips today, I have this Laura Mercier brown, but you see how the tip kind of got cut off. Anyways, I am going to use that to line my lips, and then I think I might use this MAC because it's so pretty. Actually, it's not this one. It is this pretty, like, it's called Sushi Kiss Satin Lipstick by MAC, and it's like a nice peach color. So I'm going to try that combination and see how much I like it. But before we do that, let's go ahead and moisturize them again. Moisturizing your lips before lip gloss or lipstick will not only benefit like your lips and make them feel more moisturized, but it will allow the product to just glide on and apply better. So I am not going to use a brush for this because I know what I'm doing. If you don't know what you're doing, please use a brush. I'm just going to use the tip of it and line my lips. Now I'm following the natural shape of my lip line. So our lips are lined and looking sexy. I like it. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of blend it out a little bit with my finger. Should be tall. I kind of feel like rocking it like this. I don't know. Okay, so I'm just going to add the MAC in the navel right here. It's such a pretty color. And then I'm just blending the two. I'm just going to take my Fenty Beauty Glow Gloss Balm, and it is going to just give it the perfect sheen. I haven't found a gloss balm better than the Fenty one, and I'm even going to hold you. Like, name a lip gloss better than Fenty in the comments, because I don't think there is one. And the makeup is giving purr, okay? You guys, it's so cute. Okay, last step, we have to get rid of all of the powdery stuff. So using my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, I am just going to spray all over my face. And then I'm also going to spray some on my sponge and then dab it in. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so now I'm going to spray my sponge and then I'm going to press it in everywhere. And the reason I do this is because I really want to make sure I'm setting every single part of my face. And sometimes when you spray, two things when you spray, it could just leave like bubbles on your skin and then they're just going to dry down. So I'm kind of just pressing the product in there. So that wouldn't happen. And two, when you spray, you can miss certain spots. So to make sure I don't miss anything, I'm going back in with the setting spray on my blending button. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody else do this on the internet, but I make my own rules around here. Alright, so this is how we're looking. Vibes. Okay, let me change my outfit and then juice it up for you guys. Okay, you guys. Period. Okay, you guys, this is the final look. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.